So today I'm joined with the Tooth Mummy on Instagram, also known as Inderpreet. Inderpreet is my big sister, my cousin. I have a lot of love for her and I'm glad that she's here with me today. So Inderpreet, introduce yourself to everyone that might not know you.
Okay, so my name is Inderpreet. I'm a qualified dentist, and together with my husband, we own a private dental practice in Essex. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And yeah, Simran, as she said, she's my little sister. So I'm really happy and really honoured and privileged that I get to do this with her.
So Didi, you had Arjan, my nephew, beautiful nephew, during lockdown. How was that for you?
So with regards to Arjan, I had him just a few weeks, about 2-3 weeks before the actual lockdown. But the whole coronavirus situation was kind of up in the air anyway, and everyone was talking about it, and everyone was quite cautious about coming around to see him anyways. So I did feel like it was locked down anyway. But yeah, so I had him on the 29th of February, so it was a leap year baby, which is quite cool. And then that was okay because Parminder, my husband, he could come in the labour ward with me when I was having him. So I was quite lucky in that sense. And it was quite good. And then during lockdown, it was really interesting. When I look back on it now and in hindsight and in retrospect, I just feel like it was such a whirlwind and it feels like such a blur. Partially because you're sleep deprived and you don't know what's going on, you have no clue what you're doing, and add lockdown, a global pandemic into the mix. It's just crazy. It's just a very unique position to be in, I feel. So when I look back on it, I think, wow, did I actually go through that? But it was good. I mean, I was really kind of feeling those emotions in the beginning of lockdown. I was like, I want all my family around me. I want everyone to share the love with Arjan in the initial phases, and you just want that support as well emotionally from people around you, but obviously they couldn't come round. So at the beginning it was quite tough, but I was very lucky. I live with Parminder and his mum and dad, so we had our kind of little support bubble there, and it was good to have Parminder off work as well with me. I think that is quite unique as well, to have your partner or your husband with you at home helping, especially with the night shifts when they wake up. So I was very, very fortunate in that sense. So I would describe it as a whirlwind, and then obviously as time goes on, you become more confident in what you're doing. You know the pattern of the child, and the pandemic just makes everything, this is the new normal. So you just kind of got to get on with it really and just take each day as it comes.
Do you think that the lockdown at all took a toll on Arjun? Was anything really different? Like, how is he coping with it as well? Because obviously it must be difficult for him not to see everyone or get used to people being around him.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if it was in normal circumstances pre-COVID, there would be kids all around him. Everyone wanted to pick him up and, just being around people. So it has been difficult in that sense. And I've spoken to quite a few mothers, first-time mothers, and just family members just saying, we don't really know how it is going to affect these lockdown babies, whether they're born just before lockdown or during lockdown. That's what we've got to kind of see in the future, how it will affect them. But I think it's been fine. I think he seems like he interacts with a lot of people, and I think it's just having time for him, making time for him during the day, interacting with him, and just spending time with him. Really, that's what they want.
So how was the whole hospital experience? Obviously, you were there just before lockdown, so it would have been a little bit different. But
Yeah.
was that comfortable for you? Did you kind of see a lockdown pending? Was there that sort of situation going on, or was it kind of the norm?
Yeah, I mean, for me, obviously it was first time, so whatever it was what I thought it would be. Really, it was normal, I would say. There wasn't much to do with coronavirus at that time, so everything kind of went as I expected, to be fair, with regards to the healthcare service and everything like that. There wasn't kind of restrictions put in place at that time, but yeah, I really did feel for people that were going through labour during lockdown, because I just think it's one of the most life-changing experiences that anyone can ever experience, and I think to not have a partner with you during those early stages when you need them most sometimes is very difficult, because you're so anxious, you don't know what's going on. and just seeing a familiar face, whether that be your partner, your mom, sister, whoever it is that you want there with you, it would just kind of give you that drive and give you that motivation to think everything's going to be okay, because you do go through that kind of panic, like, oh my God, is it really happening? After 9 months, you're like, wow, this is it. So to go through that initial bit by yourself, I think is hard, but I can understand why they had to do it. But it's just a bit difficult to kind of process. I understand why the National Health do have to do it, or any healthcare system has to do it, but I did feel like, what is going on? But I don't know what the restrictions are now during the second lockdown, but I did think they did ease it, so that the partner could go in, but now I'm not sure on how the situation is again, because I haven't really spoken to anyone that's going through it during this second lockdown.
So in terms of just you, what is your kind of path, before we get into the Sikhi and parenting stuff, what's your path into Sikhi? How's that been for you growing up through uni, now, in, married life, having a child now? What sort of changed? How was that for you?
Yeah, so I think when someone is always asked about their path in any religion, it's always going to be very it's never a straight line. It's always
No,
kind of up and down and everything in between.
definitely, yeah.
So with regards to myself, I mean, I was brought up in a Sikh family. Both my parents are Sikh, and Sikhi was always kind of around us. We always went to Gurdwara, went to Punjabi school as kids. Even though at that age we didn't really know what was going on, you just kind of go with the flow. And then as you get older, you become a bit more inquisitive, you become more curious, and you start thinking, what is your purpose? And I think I was always kind of inclined in that way to find out why are we here, and what is our purpose on earth. And I think that kind of started when I was probably in secondary school, so kind of at the end of secondary school, so probably like year 11 going on to sixth form. Going on from sixth form, that's when I kind of started getting more into Sikhi and kind of exploring all religions, really. I used to love having debates at school. We would have debates about all religions and see why we do these, talk about reincarnation. And it was always interesting to see other people's perspectives from every other religion or no religion. So it was very interesting. I just thought, wow, these are such great debates to be having. And I think I really got into Sikhi, or even into religion, during uni times. So I think I did mention to Simran, it was during my uni that I started getting more into faith. And I researched all faiths, not just Sikhi. I'm not one of those people that would just stick to a religion because I was born into it. I've always been very open to all religions, quite spiritual in that sense. So I researched every religion, and I did find that the ones that kind of were in tune with my own sense of thinking and my own kind of ethos and my own kind of values was Sikhi. So that's how I got into it. And throughout uni, that's when I really was heavily into Sikhi and everything like that, and then kind of just carrying it on from there into my more adult life, if you will. Yeah.
So in terms of like being married, having a child now, what's your Sikhi journey like? Has it changed? Is it any different?
Yeah, so I'd say my Sikhi journey is kind of it's always progressing. As you're getting older, you're learning more. You've always got something to learn. So yeah, I got married to Parminder. He's also Sikh, so I always felt like I wanted to get with someone that was of similar background or similar values, and had the same experiences as me. Funnily enough, he's a dentist as well, so that kind of that's kind of quite similar. So so we've kind of tried to instill it within Arjan's life as well. We're going to try and hopefully progress it further with him, so he also knows the sacrifices that our gurus took for us as well. So I think that's really important to instill it with them from an early age, so they have some kind of attachment to it, really.
I asked sangat last night about questions that they may have with parenting and bringing up a child into Sikhi. So how old is Arjan now? just to let everyone know?
Yeah, so Arjan is 8 months, going to be going on to 9 months soon.
So
Yeah.
within the last 8 months, how have you exposed Arjun to Sikhi?
Yeah, so getting Arjan into Sikhi, we're kind of starting from an early age at home. So we always listen to Bart, we always got the Kirtan Shabbat on. So he's always getting exposed in that way, talking Punjabi at home. So he's getting that kind of influence. My Punjabi is a bit broken, but with regards to my in-laws and Parminder, they speak Punjabi, and we try to get it in there from an early age. Also, reading him books about Sikhi. So a book about Guru Nanak from Benji Baljinder has been really good. I've really liked and enjoyed reading that to him, and he's really curious and he really likes that book. And just kind of exposing him to celebrations like yesterday, which was Bandi Chor Divas. So getting him used to the reasons why Sikhs celebrate Diwali and our own personal reasons on why we do commemorate that day. So just trying things like that. Obviously going to Gurdwara, it has been a bit difficult. But we went to Gurdwara, when did we go? We did go quite recently. I think it was for, we did have a part. We had a part that we had to go to. So we took Arjun then. When he was born, the first place we went was the Gurdwara. Before even we went home, we took him to the Gurdwara to seek blessings. So we went there first. That was when he was newborn. And then second time around he went was a couple of weeks ago. So it has been difficult, but every single day we try and expose him to some type of a Bart and some type of Sikhi.
Yeah, no, that's good because obviously you would want it so that he would be around maybe more Sikhs or like be in the
Yeah,
Gurdwara a lot more often. Obviously, it's
yeah,
difficult for a lot of people,
that's
and it's definitely difficult during lockdown as well to expose your child to Sikhi
yeah.
in that sort of. But how do you think he's sort of even going to the Gurdwara a few times or reading these books that you're saying? How is he reacting? Obviously, he's quite young, but
he's reacting in a very insightful manner. He's quite he likes to kind of explore, and he's very into it. He's very kind of in tune with it, and he's reacting in a way where he wants to know more. So that's very encouraging, that he's got some type of spirituality there, and I'm just hoping as he grows older that will continue. But obviously it is up to him at the end of the day what he wants to do, what he wants to believe in. I don't want to kind of ever pressurize anyone into following a certain type of following or religion or that kind of thing, but we're just going to try and impart what we know and share what we've been through as parents and what we've learned from our own parents, and try and instill that within him. And even if he kind of gets the values of Sikhi, I'll be happy, because I think just being a good person in general is the best way forward. And if he does have a kind of interest within Sikhi, then that's good also.
definitely. So another thing was within like the next, let's say before he's 5, is there
Yeah.
more that you're gonna do to expose him to Sikhi, or when does it sort of get to a point where you feel like you can let him explore from himself? Because I feel like that's where parents struggle the most. It's like
Yeah.
letting your child go essentially to do what they want to do, not just in Sikhi, not just with religion, but in life in general.
Yeah, I mean, I think you know your child, and I think you have an instinct and a gut to know when your child is able to be more independent and explore things themselves. I think obviously if there was no kind of COVID, he would be more exposed to his cousins. A lot of his cousins kind of do a lot of kind of Sikh orientated things anyway, like going to Gurdwara, having like going to, I think it's the Sikhi on Saturdays at Gurdwara near us. There's like a little Sikhi Sangat day where all the little kids go, and they
Nice.
all kind of interact with each other, and they do like activities. So I'd like for him to kind of go to that and kind of meet other young Sikh kids, someone on his level, and obviously kind of going to the Gurdwara. Hopefully I would have loved to have gone to Punjab as well, showing him a bit of our culture, and just things like that. I think as time goes on, I will learn more, and I think I will know as he gets older, when he becomes a bit more receptive and responsive, when he is able to more explore these things.
See, I saw this morning someone had posted about kids being able to take things in when they're young. They're kind of like sponges, so they kind of take in their environment much more than when you're an adult, say, and your brain's a bit, frazzled. You're going through quite a lot, so your brain's carrying so much. But as a kid, they're exposed to everything. They're going to take everything. So, a lot of parents had sent me questions saying like, how do you know it's working, or are you teaching them enough, things like that, questions like that, that I feel like you as a parent can decide. No one can tell you how much you're teaching your kid, or how little to teach your kid.
They take in everything. They take in the colors, the shapes, everything. They take in the environment. They're gonna, as you said, they're sponges, and they're just gonna, take up all that information and everything around them. And I think that's right what you said. I don't think there should be any pressure. I think parents already have pressure anyway, especially nowadays with social media as well, where you just see this, someone's got this perfect life, and you just think, wow, I'm not doing as well as them with regards to anything, but not only parenting, but anything in life. You think, oh, this person's really over there, and look where I am. But I don't think we should put that pressure on ourselves that we need to meet some kind of deadline in life. And I think that goes the same with kids as well. Every kid is unique, every kid is different, and that's the best thing about them. They all got their own little kind of quirks, and you just got to let them go at their own pace. And you'll know as a parent, when they're ready to take on new things and take on new exposures. So
yeah, exactly what you said. And I feel like in terms of Sikhi has no deadline. You can learn Sikhi at your own pace. You can learn whatever religion you're going through at your own pace. Some people, have taken in Sikhi from when they were born. Some people learn Sikhi later on in life. A lot of the time it comes after a traumatic experience.
That's right.
Or a lot of the time it comes at a pace where you feel like you're ready to find something new or find your purpose, like you said earlier. And I think I mentioned in my last podcast as well how Sikhi came about for me at A-levels. It wasn't in the sense of anything entirely happening. I mean, I've been like, what mum's like. She's very into Sikhi, and she's been brought up in a Sikhi household. So I was very much exposed to Sikhi. And mum let me kind of go about Sikhi in my own way. So she taught me what I needed to know. She taught me Ardaas when I was 7, and I've been doing it ever since. But there was times when mum would be like, okay, if you want to go experience it, you want to go see it for yourself, then go do that. So I mean, bringing up kids into Sikhi, it's what you make of it. I always say that religion is always what you make of it as well. The thing with religion is it doesn't change. Sikhi is constant. It's going to stay the exact same way. So
no, I agree. I think it's like every family is different. So with regards to saying your child has got to be at this level of Sikhi, to me it doesn't make no sense, because the parent might not be at that kind of level or that stage. So you've just got to go at your own pace. And as you said, like, everyone's at their own stage of Sikhi. Everyone's kind of learning as we go along, and there's nothing wrong with that. No one's born with knowing everything. So you've got to just do as best as you can and do as much as you can for yourself. So that's why obviously everyone is different, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, to be fair.
I got another question from a member of Sangat who said that they are a bit worried about bringing up their child outside of Punjab in a more of a Western or Americanized world. And this is where we have to, separate culture from religion. The Indian culture from Sikhi. And obviously I feel like a lot of people find it difficult. Like young Singhs and Gaurs will find that their caste holds very high importance, which is obviously something that Sikhi doesn't take on. And it's things like that where that I feel like that sort of teaching is up to your parents and your upbringing. That's where you can be exposed to things.
It's very paramount. I mean, I think with regards to caste, I didn't get married to someone of the same caste as me. We're different castes. So those are the kind of barriers we need to break. I think our generation has got to be that generation where we kind of really uphold those values of Sikhi and say that there is no caste. So at the end of the day, we're both working professionals, and caste really doesn't play a role within our day-to-day life. So we're both Sikh, and that's what he always kind of said to me as well. We're both Sikh, regardless of our castes. It is what it is. So
that's something
I think
that you have to instill in your children as well, being a parent. Like, I guess that is when people ask, how much can you teach your child about Sikhi, things like that, where you're separating culture and it, that is very important, because I feel like for some people it's very easy to jumble them up and get them mixed up, get attached to your culture as opposed to attached to Sikhi in that sense. So I feel like when it comes to that question, be careful, because you're now talking about a westernized world, you're talking about culture, you're talking about other things that don't relate to Sikhi. As I said earlier, Sikhi doesn't change. It is that constant, it is that thing, and I say thing loosely, but thing that will stay the same throughout our lives, our children's lives, our grandkids' lives. It will always be the same, and you always have the same teachings, despite your environment changing. But yeah, of course, there are things that you can teach your kids nowadays, to, as you said, to just make sure that they're a good person. They don't believe anything that we as Sikhs shouldn't be believing, like the caste system, like basic inequality. I said in my last podcast as well, we've been exposed to so much over this lockdown in terms of like inequality and discrimination. So these are all things that Sikhi is against. But like, as a parent, that is the most you can do, and everything else is up to them. Like, our parents, like both of our moms, taught us the basics of being a good human and having good, values and good morals and stuff. And everything else we've kind of found on our own. So I would say, just like you said earlier, not too much pressure on the parenting. Just do what you can and teach the basics, and teach them what they should be grateful for, and everything else will come to them.
Yeah. No, I couldn't have said it better than you, Simran. See, I learn from you every day as well. It's the thing, you learn from your youngers nowadays as well, which is amazing. So, no, really, really good. So another thing that I get Arjan to listen to is on YouTube, there's something called the Guru song. It's a lullaby, and it's from I'm 1313. That's the kind of the handle on YouTube. And it's a really nice, peaceful lullaby with regards to the Sikh gurus. So I would really recommend any child to read that, because it's really soothing, and he really does pay attention to it when he's listening to it. So that's another thing I would kind of recommend to listen to as well. And as you said, just kind of do what you've got to do. Obviously, instill with them good morals, good values, the basics of Sikhi as well. That's one other thing I want to say. I really want to kind of take this opportunity to really thank Basics of Sikhi and all the information that Jugraj has given us and imparted within this world is invaluable to people like me, especially during kind of 2010, 2015, when I was at university. It really helped me to grow as a person, spiritually, to kind of understand Sikhi in a way that's never been taught before, especially to people in westernized cultures. It made a bit more easier to digest and easier to understand. And I just want to say they really did help me on my Sikhi journey. And the way he kind of told us things, it was just amazing. And I think his legacy lives on.
Definitely. I mean, even nowadays you have kids watching Basics of Sikhi videos. Those don't run out of time, them ones. So that's another thing that you could do as parents, make them watch Basics of Sikhi videos, because that's how we all learn. That's how I was exposed to it. That was how you've been exposed to it. I feel like kids learn the most off of videos like that. Even a lot of my posts on my Instagram are based off things that I've watched years ago. A lot of the videos, I remember like the back of my hand. That's how that's how you can see that they've made a big difference. So again, parenting in that sense, videos, everything's online nowadays.
Visual aids. That's it. Visual aids. Children learn from visual things. So having something visual, like watching videos like Basics of Sikhi, or any like books, anything like that, I think it really helps, and it helps to make them remember these things also, and just kind of embed it within their kind of psyche. So yeah, all those kind of things really are good. And yeah, just like, seeing you on your journey is awesome. And I mean, I've known you since you were a little kid. How many? There's probably like 10, 11 years, 10 years between us.
Yeah, 10, yeah. No,
10 years, yeah.
10 years.
It's about 10 years, yeah. So obviously, I remember we went to India, and we went to Harmandir Sahib. That was a moment.
My first experience of Sri Harmandir Sahib was absolutely beautiful. That was a very pivotal moment for me. I feel even now, after that, everything changed for me. I gave up meat, don't eat eggs. I keep my scarce as much as I can.
I remember that very vividly, because I just remember, I think you were speechless. Like, I just don't remember you talking at all throughout.
I had nothing to say. Which is very unlike me. You know that I talk all the time.
I think you were just so like, wow. I think you were blown away. And I think I really saw a difference in you when we went on that trip. And I think for the better as well. I mean, it's kind of, it gives you that sense of calmness. You found your meaning within it. So, it really did mean a lot to you.
Yeah, I mean, I'd only heard stories about it from mum, from like my aunts and uncles, from my cousins that had all, people that had been. I was only taking it, but it is like a different experience on a completely different level when you go there. How many times have you been
to Harmandir Sahib?
Yeah,
I've been 3 times. No,
so how was
2 times, I think.
How was the first experience for you?
First experience was amazing as well. I think every time you go, it's just kind of blows you away. The first time I went, I think I was about 13, and it was during the night. So when we went, it was daytime. But when I went during the night time, it was just crazy. And I think it's just one of those things. It's just so sentimental that you just don't know how to explain it. And I think and when I went there, I was just like, wow. Like, you see all these pictures, you see everything about it, but when you go there, then you do find, wow, this is it. This is what it's all about. And I think I always just get so humbled by the fact that it is not as big as I thought it was. And I think that's the meaning within itself. It's just always keep yourself humble, never have an ego, and just keep yourself grounded. And I think that's what it shows as well. And I just love the symbolism of it as well, that it's kind of so grand, but yet it's so kind of small in its way. And that's the way we've got to try and live our lives, is never see yourself above anyone. And always try and help out where you can, always help sangat, always help your community, especially in this time, in this day and age, now more than ever. And just the core values that we believe in. And I think with regards to Sikhi, why I feel so passionate about it is because we actually put it into play. We don't just say we want people to be equal, we put it in an active way, such as having Kaur and Singh having no surname, so everyone's on an equal level regardless of if you get married or not, so you don't have to change your surname. So things like that, I just think Sikhi has always brought their values to the forefront, and they've always put it into play, even longer as well. Giving, that's the way we show it. So I just like it being not only said but being done as well. And I think that's why Sikhi really called out to me, and that's why I follow it.
So I want to thank you for coming on this podcast with me. Obviously, talking about parenting in Sikhi is very controversial. So please forgive us if we said anything wrong. As always, we're young, we're learning still. And if anyone doesn't know who you are, yet again, like where can they find you?
So you guys can find me on Instagram. I started my own account called The Tooth Mummy a couple of months ago, and I impart all my knowledge on pediatric dentistry and children's dental health. So if you want tips on how you can get your baby to brush their teeth, then check out that page. Also have a practice in Essex. It's called Viva Dental Studio, and we also have an Instagram page, and you can check us out there. But I just want to say thank you to Simran here at Sikhi Class for giving me this opportunity. Again, apologies if I have said anything that is untoward. That is not my intentions, and wish you guys good health during this time, and obviously staying safe, but above all keeping positive, and that's pretty much it.